Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 139 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. Today we're talking about, and we're focusing this entire month on physical goals, physical well-being, physical health, and the goals associated with that. Today's topic is our environment. Now, our environment, as you can imagine, and I'm sure you've figured out throughout the course of your lifetime, no matter how old or young you are, has an incredibly huge impact on many areas and aspects of our life, but especially on our physical health and our physical well-being. And we've learned that our nutrition, our sleep, our hydration, things like that impact our physical well-being as well. And those all come from our environment, right? The resources that we need to stay healthy come from our environment. Our environment impacts our physical goals in every area and aspect of our life. Think about our outdoor environment, our sleeping environment, our indoor environment, our home life, and we'll talk about this in a couple of days, how our physical health and well-being is impacted by all the different areas and aspects of the life framework that we're talking about this year. But let's take a step back and think about some of the ways that our physical environment does impact us. It impacts our ability to get the resources that we need, impacts our level of stress or anxiety around being able to get the resources that we need to feel healthy and physically well. It determines our access to specialists or experts in different areas and aspects. We talked about that when we talked about illness. So what can we do outdoors when we're outdoors to find the environments that are best for us? We want to find and prioritize clean air, right? We want to have clean air, clean water supplies, minimize noise pollution. I mean, people that are out in nature and out in the country or out at a quiet park have less stress than people that are living in the city where there's always sirens and action and traffic and people and bustle and hustle. So we want to minimize noise pollution. Our environment influences our sleep. We talked about this when we talked about sleep, creating a peaceful, calming, low stress environment for us to sleep in. That was one of the main components we talked about. At home, some of the things we want to consider are cleanliness of our home, to minimize germs and things like diseases that could impact us. Molds and mites. A lot of people have molds and allergies nowadays. We also want to have proper ventilation in our homes. One of the most important things that we do here in the Northland of the United States is we change our furnace filters really often because they help to pull some of the contaminants and dusts and particles out of the air. We want to maximize natural light and make sure we're exposing ourselves to natural light. I have to get outside. Now it's a rainy day today, but I know I'm still going to sit by a window or get outside today because natural light makes me feel better. It's a way that I can improve the way I feel physically by just exposing myself to light. We want to add plants indoors if you have a green thumb. Some of us don't have very green thumbs and it's more of a challenge than others. And green plants outdoors. We want to find ways to soundproof or light-proof our sleep area. That's one thing that we've been talking about, is getting night shades for our bedrooms so that we get better sleep. I covered a bunch of topics on this with respect to our environment and our physical well-being. And of course, one of the topics that came up when I asked ChatGPT was climate change. Now, I have my own personal opinions about climate change. I think if you call anything something change, it makes it so ambiguous and so ridiculous that it's hard to talk about, because everything is changing all the time in our environment and in our world, and especially in our climate, right? It's like saying, I can control the weather. Well, none of us can control the weather. None of us can control the climate. And I think it's just, and I'm not going to get into my political or my personal reasons and beliefs about that, but there are thoughts that climate change may increase heat-related injuries. It may worsen air quality, but that's more about pollution than it is about climate change, right? And for a long time, people have studied and worked and battled pollution, especially air pollution and noise pollution and things like that, because they know it's bad for us. It messes up our air. It messes up the quality of the air that we breathe. Changes in our climate also can lead to increased diseases and infections and things like that, and the spread of them. So what's our action item today? Think about your environment, think about your physical surroundings, and share one thing that you think needs attention in your life, in your environment right now. For me personally, I need to reduce clutter. I moved a few years ago and I still have too many things that not only take up my physical space, but they take up my mental space, because I've got a storage unit that I haven't dealt with for 2 years. I've got clutter and boxes and things I haven't unpacked for 2 years, and they're in my physical environment. And that means they're impacting me because they're in the back of my mind that I need to deal with them. So that's my number one thing. So share in the comments below one thing in your environment that you think could use your attention. That's it. Have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.